let's see, Ann Times will lead us in prayer, and after that, Bud Atkins will lead us in the pledge. Let's please stand.
Our dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for giving us the opportunity to come here and see County's business, and that we live in a nation where we can work openly towards doing things that are best for our citizens. And be with us and let us do what's in your will, Lord. And bless us and keep us, Lord, as we go through this week. I say we pray.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, this is a good group. Thanks for coming. Please call the roll.
Terry Stack. Here. J.D. Lawrence.
Here.
Mark Stephen Fowler.
Present.
Ann Times. Here. Bud Atkinson.
Here.
Sam Kinsley.
Here.
Robert Meade.
Here.
Tony Reese.
Here.
Ralph Flynn.
Present.
James Wagner.
Here.
David Thompson.
Here. Okay, thank you. Everyone's here. The first item of business, we have the agenda, of course, and we have two sets of minutes from December 10th, 12th, and December, December 17th, we have three sets, and January the 7th, three sets of minutes, and also the agenda. Are there any objections, any corrections? If not,
well, I believe that was January the 3rd, wasn't it?
Maybe. You're right, yeah, it was January the 3rd, yeah. You're right. It needs to be held in the first 5 days, yes. Okay, thank you for that correction. Yes.
Are the minutes included in your package?
I'm not sure. Okay, you want to just hold up on those then, and we'll approve all of them next time. What's your pleasure? Yes, Tony?
I brought up earlier, you made a motion with the discussion of 3 minutes.
Yes.
I don't necessarily see it here.
You don't see it in the minutes? Is it an ordinance?
Oh, in the minutes or in
Is
the
it an ordinance?
It was in here, I just read it for you. No, it's in the minutes. It's on,
No, it's in, no, it's in the minutes too.
It's on second page, second paragraph.
yeah.
It's in the minutes, but it's not in the ordinance. We'll deal with that when we get to the ordinance.
Yeah. The 3 minutes?
Okay, which minutes do you have?
The third.
And the 3rd. Okay, we'll approve the January the 3rd and the agenda for tonight. Is that okay with everyone? Do I hear a motion?
I move.
Okay, Mark, David seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Tommy?
Beginning balance as of December 1st, 2012 for County General was $1,634,337.08. Revenues for the month was $1,635,122.32. Disbursements for the month were $689,925.24. Resulting in a balance on December the 31st, 2012 for County General of $2,579,534.16. Revenues beginning revenues as of December the 1st, 2012 for County Roads was $445,272.82. Revenues for the month were $122,754.93. Disbursements for the month were $111,814.12, resulting in a balance on December 31st, 2012 of $456,213.63. 1/4 cent sales tax revenues for December were $105,545.34. 1% county sales tax revenues for December were $240,303.48. General revenue turnback for December was $11,507.71. Highway revenue turnback for December was $87,888.34.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Okay. Committee reports.
We have a Budget and Finance Committee report. Meeting on January 10th, 2013, called to order at 6 o'clock. The items discussed was a library proposal to adjust their funding, and it was recommended by the committee to move that on to the Quorum Court. Public Defender also presented his budget and made a request for $5,600 to cover cell phones, postage, and travel expense that had been left out of his budget. We made a motion to move this on to the full Quorum Court. 911 Director also had an item on the agenda to transfer some money and extra help to part-time and full-time, and that was recommended to move on to the Quorum Court. And let's see. It was inquired whether an ordinance needs to be written to set the budget for the current quorum to the current quorum. There's problems with, or not problems, but some issues with mileage calculations and how they're being credited. Resolved or just worded that we would come up with something other at a later date on that. And Judge Norton requested, let's see, all the members of the court be present at the meeting at the committee along with other Quorum Court members retired in executive session to discuss personnel matter. This essentially expressed concern about the appropriateness of such a meeting. After a brief discussion on whether it was appropriate, it was decided, due to it being a personnel matter and without knowing full context of the reason, all the Quorum Court members retired to executive session at 7:35. The meeting resumed at during the regular session at 7:45. Then Judge Norton made a proposal on ordinance to create a full-time position in the judge's office, and he gave us some handouts to illustrate what he was figuring on doing. The new position would be salaried based at $40,000, and at least one part-time position, $11 an hour, would be eliminated, and getting some funding from the sanitation budget, transferring, but no action was taken on that one. And one thing that was discussed was Justice Tinley requested that Budget and Finance Committee schedule have a regularly scheduled meeting, and we agreed that we would try to set a date, but didn't take a vote on that. Justice Staten motion to adjourn. Justice Tinley provided the second. All was in favor. Adjournment at 8:27.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the first item of business.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes.
I would like to just perhaps suggest that we include in the minutes that during that executive session, that the majority of that conversation was whether or not that we should have been in executive session,
Yes.
and that we actually did not discuss the issue in any significant form or fashion. That was done in open session. Do I need to make a motion that we amend?
Yes, why don't you do it?
Okay, I move that we amend the minutes to include, that the executive session consisted mostly of still determining if we needed an executive session.
Second.
Okay, any seconds? Okay. Discussion. say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Amendments to the minutes are thereby amended.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, under old business or unfinished business, we can call it whatever we want to. This is the ordinance that we discussed in our meeting of January the 3rd, to organize the Quorum Court. And there was not an emergency clause put in that, so, David, I'll recognize you.
Okay, I explained a little bit of what we were doing the other night at the committee meeting. We rewrote the procedural ordinance incorporating all the amendments that were duly passed at the January 3rd meeting. It did not, however, have an emergency clause in it. It was not made up like a emergency ordinance. It had a 30-day effective clause at the end of it. So what we've done is we've gone through, and if you want to go through this with me, I believe section 4A was the location of the first change, and it started after the word submitted. If you will find submitted in there, I don't have the one that I've got it underlined here. Somebody find submitted?
Next word, anytime,
The last word in the sentence has to be, okay, down the next one. A member, okay, here's the sentence. A member of the Quorum Court must sponsor any ordinance that are submitted. And then the period after the submitted, then this is the sentence that was added in there. Any timely submission to the office of county judge by a Quorum Court member shall be placed on the agenda by the county judge. That is the sentence that was added, that was amended and added to this ordinance. That was the first one. No need of going over any of them that were unsuccessful in getting implemented. Section 9, I believe, was the next one. Section 9B, the Management and Planning Committee was added as a standing committee. That was the second one. And then 9L was a section added. The Budget and Finance Committee shall present the annual appropriations ordinance and detailed annual budget at the November Quorum Court meeting. These shall be made available for public inspection and comment. Now, those were the three that we voted on and approved that night. Now, the problem with that previous ordinance was that it didn't have the correct emergency clause in it. And what we've gone ahead and done is at the very end of this ordinance, we have an emergency clause that is a proposed amendment tonight, but it's in there so we can have the ability to go ahead and pass it tonight. And this is, I mean, we should have had all our ducks in a row on, yes.
Is the dialogue okay right now for discussion, or do we need to wait for?
We probably need I don't know, we need a motion in a second, and then, I don't know, what's the,
Okay, are you proposing an amendment to the emergency
well,
clause?
at this point, since we've enumerated all these, I would be putting forth a motion to amend by adding the emergency clause at this point, so.
I would second that motion.
Okay, now,
Okay, let me think, I'm ready.
discussion. Okay, motion in a second.
We need to read it first, don't we? We need to have a motion to read it by title only?
Yes.
Okay, do I hear a motion to read it by title only?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by David, second by Mark, this is title only. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Do we not have discussion before the vote? Yes.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Not,
This is to put it on the reading. This is just.
not just put on a reading before we vote
We
on
have
it,
discussion
adopt.
before we vote.
We're just talking,
Discussion on the amendment.
And got a second, Chad.
He's making a
You can't
motion.
amend it till you have a motion.
Yeah.
Okay? You can't amend it till you have a motion.
I incorrectly, as you will, notice, I make mistakes once in a while. But I should have put this in form of a motion, including all those amendments.
And you
I was,
did.
I was just trying to make it, make this sure that we're on the same page as far as all the amendments have been implemented correctly. But now I would like to make a motion. Have I already done that?
Do it again.
Okay,
Do
I'll
it
make a
again.
motion that we approve the organizational.
I will second that motion.
Okay, the motion been made and second to read this by title only. Does anybody object to reading it by title only? If you do, we'll read every word of it. Okay? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.